Sometimes, and I know this might become controversial or contradictory, even suffering is beautified with God. Suffering is beautified by God. He says, happy are those who are abused, persecuted, who suffer for my name's sake. Blessed and happy. Fortunate are they. He beautifies everything. Matthew 5:10. He says, blessed are they which, or really amplified, blessed and happy and enviable, fortunate and spiritually prosperous in the state which is which the born again child of God enjoys, enjoys and finds satisfaction in God's favor and salvation, regardless of his outward condition, are those who are persecuted for righteousness. You see somebody being beaten, some are stoned, and by heaven they are envied. They're to be envied. That thing hits me so deep. It hits me so deep. And I think to myself, how come we don't envy people who are under persecution? Why do we feel sorry for them? The Bible says that they are to be happy. They are to be envied. They are fortunate people. Because you see, in understanding the beauty of the Lord, even the worst circumstances, even death is beautified. The Bible says in Hebrews 11, it speaks of a group of people. He says, and women received their dead. I think it begins from verse 35. He says, women received their dead raised from life again, to life again. Listen. And others were, number one, read, tortured, not accepting deliverance, that they might obtain a better resurrection. These people suffered. They were tortured. The hand of deliverance came to deliver them. And they said, no, we don't want deliverance. We want to stay in torture and persecution. How can a man choose torture instead of deliverance, except he has seen the beauty of the torture? But that's a degree of the revelation of God. How can a man refuse deliverance from people afflicting him, except he has had a higher vision of God? The next line says, verse 36, others had trial of cruel mockings and scourgings, yea, moreover, of bonds, and some were in prison. Next verse. They were what? Stoned. They were sawn asunder. They were tempted. They were slain with a sword. They wandered about in sheepskins and goatskins. They were destitute. Listen, they were afflicted. They were tormented. Verse 38. And yet the Bible says, of whom the world was not worthy. Now you see why they did not accept deliverance? And he says some were wandered in deserts. Listen, they wandered in deserts. They were in mountains. They were in dens and caves of the earth. Now you know the old stories of the guys who used to live in monasteries and some who used to go in caves. They used to go far away and isolate themselves from people because they just want to be with God. They just want to be with God. Imagine a man wanders off in a desert. A man like John the Baptist had a vision and an experience of God, and he went in the wilderness. Every day he was eating locusts and honey. He was putting on what? Animal skin. All the days of his life. All the days of his life. Some of you want the fast and bustling streets of New York. You're dying to go to Canada without purpose. And there are men who counted all of that but down that they might win Christ. And the Bible tells you these men were not to be pitied because they wanted to obtain a better resurrection, of whom the world was not worthy. They had earned a certain place with God, having understood him as they ought, to a level where even as beautiful as the earth was not worth hosting them. Are you listening to me? The earth is a beautiful place. Uganda is one of the most beautiful nations in the world. That's true. You drive around and look at the scenery. You look at the trees. You look at the birds. You look at the animals. You look at the lake. You go to the shore and just see how beautifully things are made. It's just so beautiful. Recently, I was telling people, I was watching, so I love watching marine life. I just put on those 4K or 8K videos, and then they go in the water and then they show you fishes that you have never imagined. Some of them, I look at them honestly and literally tears come. And I'm like, God, you have made the world so beautiful. Imagine there are people who couldn't make cameras, who died not knowing that these species existed. But I have the opportunity with this eye to see them in full color, the green, the black, the coral reefs. You look at the flora and fauna, it's just so beautiful. And a man tells you, that whole world you see in all its beauty, the Swiss Alps and all these beautiful places, sceneries, Cape Town, he says that is not worth us. That is not worth me. I would rather I don't live here and obtain a better resurrection. That's a man who has seen all beauty. So you might think, oh, what a boring life they live to live in caves. How can a man live in his cave all their lives? Well, it's because you've not walked with God.